Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
All right, welcome to Gamertag Radio episode 1060. This is your host, Danny, and yes, I am back. Took a day off during the last recording of the podcast. And also joining me for this episode, we have Paris here. Paris, what's going on, man?
What is going on, man?
Lots of things been going on, man. Lots of news.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But first, head over to GamerTagRadio.com. Listen to our past episodes. You could also find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. Make sure to subscribe, follow us, and make sure to spread the word about the show. Also, if you'd like to be part of Fan Mail, here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, Paris. So we have a lot of emails, a lot of voice messages. We're gonna save that for the next episode of GTR. But please, everybody that's sending messages, please continue. Even the new ones, new listeners, we would like to post that on the show.
Hey guys, how's it going? Just wanted to quick send you a message. Just saw the news about Halo. Wow, craziness. That sucks. But I wanted to kind of offer up more of like a positive take on it, because I'm sure all of the fanboys are going to be rushing saying, oh, this is going to doom Xbox and what have you. I don't believe that. Look, they may start out slower out of the gate, right? But as we saw over the course of the last generation, even they were able to recover from the 2013 disaster, which was obviously a disaster. And even PlayStation, same thing, going back even the previous generation of that in the PS3. This is fine. This is the right move, right? What ultimately ensured them never catching up in the last Xbox One, PS4 generation was the lack of quality games. Make sure this is quality and no one will care once it comes out, right? That's where I feel on it. I think this was the right move. You can clearly tell they want this to be a hit. I still think it's going to be a hit. It might not lead, it might take away from some of the excitement at launch, but I still think this is going to be okay. Don't let the trolls on Twitter tell you otherwise. All right. Peace, guys. Love the show. Thanks.
We have to talk about this, Paris. This was breaking news yesterday. I was actually outside doing some stuff, and I get a call from Paris. He's like, hey, have you heard the news? I go, no. Halo Infinite delayed to 2021. Were you surprised, Paris, when you heard this news?
I was surprised for this reason, that I didn't think they would push it out of basically the launch window for the Series X, because that's exactly how important Halo was. I honestly just didn't think they would do it. I was like, they're going to just figure this out and they're going to launch it hot and go from there. But on the flip side, I am glad that they did, because it's very clear this game was not ready. It was going to be rushed due to COVID, whatever the factors may be that caused this. But what we saw a few weeks ago clearly showed it wasn't ready. The fact that they didn't have multiplayer, they were being very vague with a lot of things. The multiplayer stuff, they admitted they weren't going to be able to have public flights for people to beta test prior to launch. The fact that ray tracing wasn't going to be available at launch. It was a game that they were, honestly, this was Perfect Dark Zero all over again. And I think they've taken that lessons learned, that look what happened to Perfect Dark when they rushed it out the door. Like, do you remember that Perfect Dark Zero, it was so rushed that they had already started pressing it to disc and shipping it out to stores before it passed certification? That's how rushed it was. So let's not repeat what they did 15 years ago. Hey, what have I been saying for the past God knows how long? Halo's the flagship. You cannot screw this up. You can't. And they were heading towards screwing this up. So I am very happy that they delayed it. It was absolutely the right move for them. But yeah, it did shock me, because I truly did not think they would. But I'm glad that cooler heads prevailed. Leadership stepped in and did the right thing for the game versus for meeting some arbitrary launch date of hardware. They're like, the game's not ready. Let's wait until it's ready.
I have to say this, like, don't get me wrong, I'm disappointed, but I know that this is the right thing for 343 and for Xbox overall. So I get it. I get it that they had to delay it. The game wasn't ready, and I want them to take their time. And whenever the game is ready, then you make the announcement, show the right trailer, the right gameplay, and get us hype again. So, but one thing that I have to say is that out of all the companies lately that has been promoting all the games for like next gen, 343 Industry has been very transparent, talking to the fans, not only to Twitter but also their blog posts. Even when we had the private session Paris a couple of weeks ago with 343, they showed us Halo Infinite, and we were talking to Chris Lee and a couple other people there. They were very open, and I like that they're just not truly hiding a lot of stuff. Like the leak that happened the other day about the multiplayer that's free. Hey, they came back the next day and said, yes, this is legit, it's real, and it changed the conversation about the gameplay footage that we got to see before that. So I'm glad that they're making this change, and I know it's going to be very difficult for Xbox, super super difficult, especially for the Xbox Series X. Because look, man, I was even thinking about this, man. The last time that a Halo game came out alongside the launch of an Xbox console was actually close to 19 years ago. It's going to be 20 years next year. So this is going to be tough for the first few months, but I think at the end, Paris is going to be worth for the company overall, man. Because if they release a gem, a game that is getting so many great reviews, that's when the consumers are going to come and support you. Not only the game, but also the product that you're pushing. And even will make them to subscribe to Xbox Game Pass because of that. You know what I'm saying? So instead of releasing a game that is just half and is not 100% there, why would do that? Why? If you think about all the games that we got to play from the majority of them from PlayStation, they took their time and they were gems. God of War, all these, The Last of Us, Uncharted, Horizon that came out, Spider-Man. It took a long time, but those are gems, and that's what we need from Xbox, man. Especially this next generation, we need to see that too, man. So take your time, man. Take your time with it. Now, one thing I have to say, Paris, in that post on Twitter where they make the announcement, it only says 2021, not early 2021, not holiday. It could be anytime. It could be early next year, or it could be late next year. So that's something that we also have to think about too, man.
Well, I'm tell you exactly what I think. I tweeted it yesterday. You will see this game at E3, Xbox Game Showcase 2021, whatever it's going to wind up being called next year, because I don't think you see this game until holiday 2021. Because there's really, if they're not going to rush this, then there's no way it makes spring, right? Because there's clearly a lot of work that still needs to be done on Halo Infinite. You're not going to put it out in the summer, so you might as well wait until the fall. At that point, give it all the time that it needs. Now, I know I said this as well, and I know I put the chances at this being low, but I'm just going to say, Miss Leo, don't be surprised if this turns out to be a Series X/S PC only game and they abandon Xbox One. If they push it all the way to next holiday, don't be surprised. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying don't be shocked, because if they truly want Halo to be everything that it can be, and they're getting this extra time to truly polish it and take advantage of the new hardware and everything, maybe the Xbox One winds up not being a factor. I know you disagree with this, but yeah, I'm just putting it out there that it could be a possibility.
No, and you know what? It could, but this is why I said that it will be a disaster, in my opinion, if they do that. You can't promote something for a very long time that the game is going to be playable on all systems and then change it a year later. I think it's a PR disaster, man. And honestly, Paris, Xbox doesn't need that right about now. They don't. because if they start doing that, look, the one thing that you and Pete and Mandy's been saying for a very long time, and I even said it too during the launch of 2013 of the Xbox One, is the messaging. Paris, why are you going to say that this game is going to be available for everything and then change it a year later? People are going to be mad. That's the wrong messaging to send, in my opinion. But that's the reason why I disagree with you.
No, and that's fair. And that's fair. Look, that's just me being conspiracy Steve, trying to look at another angle on it. No, and you're very well could be right. It would be a PR hit for them, and they would definitely have to make sure they're communicating that properly and explain why. And they would need to show what. Like, if you were to do that, you need to show something the next time we see Halo that makes people go, okay, I get it. Yeah, this sucks, but man, if this means they can't run it on Xbox One because we're getting that, then okay, do it. But I do agree with you. It's there is probably a 10% chance that something like that would happen, but we'll see. Again, I just want Halo to be the best that it can be. So if it needs more time, please give it more time. Look, we're going to be fine. Because then it was funny because I was talking with our good friend Tony on Twitter, and I was even saying, because he'd asked the question, he goes, I'm not even sure we should get consoles this holiday. Maybe they should push them till 2021. And I could see it in this sense. The games that I'm anticipating this holiday are not quote unquote next gen games that need a Series X or a PlayStation 5. Obviously Cyberpunk's at the top of my list, things like that. But
yeah,
I could be okay if they just pushed all this stuff into 2021, especially with the state of the world and everything that's going on, because Halo was kind of that next gen game that I was anticipating, despite it also being available on Xbox One. The rest of them, and I know I don't speak for everyone. I'm just really selfishly speaking for myself in that sense. I have a PC, all that. So I didn't necessarily need it. I mean, yeah, there's Spider-Man Miles Morales on PlayStation, which you have to get a PlayStation 5 to play that. But I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting holiday. There's definitely some games I'm highly anticipating. Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, this new Call of Duty when they finally unveil it, things like that. But it's a bummer that Halo's gone because it was one of my most anticipated. But in a weird way, it's kind of a relief too, because it's clear it wasn't ready. And let's be real, the other games that I all just announced, they're all coming out around the same time. So how the hell was I going to play them all anyways? So look, I said it on Twitter, time management is the true final boss for holiday 2020.
It is true.
How are you going to find time for all this stuff? There's so many good games that we're still going to be able to play despite, something like Halo getting delayed.
A couple of things. One, I know you mentioned about delaying the systems next year, right? And I'm going to speak from the Xbox side, why I think they should just keep it on schedule. Forget about the games, but more of just the systems and everything. And the reason is Xbox Game Pass, Paris.
No, I don't. Let me be clear on something before you continue. Yeah. It was just a conversation. I could see it. I'm not saying it's going to happen. And I understand why Xbox and PlayStation won't. That's fine. But please continue. You're going to explain it.
Yeah. No, the reason why I'm saying that it's okay for the game to get delayed, but please launch Xbox Series X and S later this holiday. And the reason is because of Game Pass. I think but the more people that they have the system and also start using it from their mobile devices and everything, I think the service will become even better instead of waiting next year and then it's like beta and all this stuff. Might as well just start from now, release it on this console, and then the next generation coming out later this year, and also mobile phone all at the same time. And then by the time it's next year, Paris, we're gonna have better experience with the service. There's gonna be better software in there, first party and also third party, and just overall the experience is gonna be a lot better. But you need to have people to start using the devices, even new consumers that are planning to buy the console. It could be Lockhart or X. But if you start delaying everything, I don't know. I think it will throw off the experiment and the test that Xbox been playing this for a very long time. You know, games, software, it's fine. I think the hardware is important, man. Super, super important. Now, another thing that the reason why I think it's good, also why Halo Infinite got delayed to next year, I think, Paris, honestly, I think it's going to be a very dry year for Xbox and Sony, man. For the first year or so, we're not going to see bangers. I think the second year, 2022, that's when we're going to start seeing, okay, now we're going to see the big hitters. I just can't see Xbox and PlayStation start releasing right away content early next year. I just can't see it, man. So, look, it got delayed. Release it around September, right? And then if they do plan to have something even bigger, release that in November. But at least there's content. And look, we're gonna get to see smaller games like AA games from Xbox Game Studios. We're gonna start seeing that, which is gonna be perfect for the service for Game Pass, right? But I'm talking about the AAA games. We're not gonna see that for a while, man. If you think about all the games that we got to see during the game showcase, Paris, all those games are coming out 2022 and up, man. That's not gonna come out this year or next year. Halo was the only one.
No, I agree, but honestly, this isn't a shock, which is again is the point that we go back to Halo. I mean, outside of Halo, looks like Spider-Man Miles Morales, those were really the only two quote unquote next gen games that were going to come out. And this is what happens at every console launch. It's always light in the first year. So I'm not surprised by that. And yes, I do agree. Something like Game Pass can help fill in that gaps, but you're also going back playing some backlog games that are now going to have some hard, some upgrade enhancements to them, playing them on the next gen hardware, as well as, like you said, you're going to see a lot of the AA and indie titles get the spotlight over the next year or so, which is good because those are the games that drive innovation in the industry anyway. So I'm not. None of this surprises me that, yes, it's going to be light on content. Third party is going to carry a lot of the first year for both PlayStation 5 and Series X, but that's how it always is. But this was that opportunity, like you said, first time since the original Xbox that it was going to launch with a Halo, and how ambitious they were going to be with this Halo title. It was exciting to see that they were at least attempting. Obviously, COVID plays a big factor in this, but as we're going to be, I'll be in Night City anyways. So of course, I'm fine. Of course. So it's going to be fine. I will just say, and again, this is an individual decision. This isn't something that you need to listen to any dum-dums like me on social media or on a podcast or whatever, but it's up to you to decide if investing in new console hardware matters in 2020. For some people, it is not going to matter because they'll be perfectly fine staying on their PlayStation 4 or staying on their Xbox One until we start to see the Ratchet and Clanks and the Halo Infinites of the world start to come out. And then you're like, all right, now I'll go invest in that because now I'm seeing true next gen games that I want to play. Because remember, you can play Cyberpunk on PlayStation 4. You can play Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Xbox One. You know what I mean? So it's like even the new Call of Duty will be playable, on the current gen hardware. So you don't necessarily have to get the next gen hardware right away unless that's what you want to do with your money. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with that. Would it be a bad decision? Absolutely not. Because again, it's your choice and you are going to see some visual enhancements and some things that will take advantage of the new hardware. But from a pure gameplay standpoint, if you just want to enjoy the game and play with your friends, you're still going to be fine staying on the current gen hardware in 2020. That's all. But it's your choice, what you want to do. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And also for those that don't have an Xbox and they're more of like a PlayStation, let's say PlayStation consumer, that's it, right? You can still, let's say you're still curious about Xbox, you can still try it out if you have an Android device or an Android tablet or whatever it is, and you could, test it out with your PlayStation 4 controller connected to the phone and just sign up for like $1 and just see if any of these games is already available on the service. If it gets your attention, maybe that would just make you change your mind to buy the console. And if not, hey, stay with a PlayStation 4 or buy a PlayStation 5 if you feel like it, man. Like right now you have the options. For me, I want to get the new console because I'm just I'm like that. I'm always buying it day one. You know,
But
that's me. That's me.
Actually, I want to pause on that because I want to use this
Yeah.
as a case study on that. Why?
Yeah.
Like why? Not just because, but what specifically? Why would you now, especially since something like Halo isn't going to go on? Because I'm assuming you're talking about the Series X. Why would you still want a Series X at launch?
For me, it's more of the features like faster. Like when you guys upgrade your computer, I mean, you don't need to go upgrade it. You upgrade it because you want to make it faster. But that's for me. That's personally like that. I think that's the only reason why I would get it. It's not, I could even get the Lockhart if I find it is cheaper and I don't really need it, and it's a little bit more powerful than this. I could get it.
Well, you actually bring up a good point on that too. Again, we're just talking,
Yeah.
so no one take this
talking.
serious and send angry emails. We're just having a conversation because it's your money. Buy what the hell you want. But you bring up Lockhart, so this is actually in your case is a good example. You don't have a 4K TV.
No, but here's the thing. Right now, I don't, but I am eventually going. Once I have my own place, I am planning to invest on a 4K TV because I don't want to do this. I don't want to buy Lockhart and then I get a 4K TV and then like, hey, you know what? Let me buy the Xbox Series X. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just get everything there and prepare myself for what's coming later. Like I have my 4K TV in Miami, so but once I move out, I am gonna plan to get it. It's not like I'm never gonna buy a 4K TV ever again. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be prepared for what's coming because I know that eventually I'm gonna have that device and I'm gonna have that TV in the future. You know what I'm saying? So now, if I'm just strictly 1080 and forget about 4K, then it will be a totally different conversation.
Gotcha.
From my end. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. No, but let's talk about this, Paris, about Lockhart, because I posted a very interesting theory online because I was thinking about it. I'm like, all right, for those who don't know, a couple of days ago, the Robot White controller, that is the new controller for the new console, just popped up. Supposedly, a couple of retail stores already have it packed up in the back, and it says there's a sticker that says November 6th. Do not open it till November 6th. Right? So I don't know what happened. Somebody got a couple controllers. There's different people that got it. I think one in Seattle, one in a couple people in Chicago, etc. Right? So my theory was this. I said to Paris and also to Pete on our private chat, I was like, okay, what if Lockhart is going to be announced now in August during the next event? And what happened if they announce this cheap for like, let's say $250, $199, the cheapest. But that box, there's not going to be no controller. You have to buy that separately because look, if you're an Xbox owner, your controller that you have, your SCUF controller, your Elite controllers, all the controllers that you have for this generation, you can still use that for the next one. So there's no reason for you to have an extra controller in that package. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're a new customer and you don't have an Xbox One, then I understand a lot of these stores, they do bundles all the time, especially GameStop. They do bundles like crazy. Buy this, you can have games, you can have a controller. So most likely we'll see those special bundles from those stores that will allow you to get the controller, right? But there was people that hit me up, and even P was saying like he disagreed. That's not going to happen. That's crazy. And here's why I think that could happen. In the past, it's like years ago when the 3DS came out, it came out with no adapter, no plug for you to put that in on your device if you want to charge it. So how in the world are you going to play 3DS if you don't have no charger? They did that. Nintendo did that to increase the price. So it's nothing new. Usually when you buy a toy or any type of equipment that you need, let's say batteries, in the package it will say batteries not included. So Xbox could do the same exact thing with that box, that package, and say controller is not included or controller sold separately or something like that. Having that box, and at least you know that there's no controller when you buy that. So I think the reason why Xbox is doing that, Paris, is to keep it as cheap as possible, man. For the company to make that huge announcement later this month with the release date, and people will get excited. And I think the majority of people would go with the cheap route, and they'll buy that, and it will outsell the Xbox Series X. So what are your thoughts about that theory that I mentioned to you?
No, yeah. And shout out to Pete, who being freaking Debbie Downer on that. I actually agree with you. I think that can make sense if you properly communicate and message it to someone that walks into a retail store. Look, COVID at some point is going to be over, right? So when we can walk into retail stores again and you see that Lockhart on there, bold letters, controller not included. But then right next to it, you see where you can buy the controller and add to it. But by separating the two, it allows you to lower the price of Lockhart even more, at face value. And if you already have an Xbox One controller, you're good. Go pick it up again. Pretend. Go pick it up for $200. You already got a controller. You're good. You can start playing right away. But if you need a controller, okay, add $40 onto the price. Now it's $240 instead of $199. But either way, you can still walk out of the store ready to go, as long as you're clearly displaying. Look, for people like my wife, who if I were to send her to go buy consoles for my kids, she go pick up Lockhart, and then they'd all be mad going, well, there ain't no controller. She's like, well, I didn't know. Well, they'd be like, Mom, it says in bold letters right here on the box, controller not included. You see what I'm saying? So that makes sense to me. Of course, do that. I'm completely fine with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be huge. And honestly, Paris, right now, the discussion is about Halo Infinite getting delayed. Like, it's a huge blow for Xbox. Let's keep it real. Mm-hmm. It's going to hurt the launch of the Xbox Series X and S. But at the same time, it's all about changing the conversation, man. I think the price of this console can help Xbox. Yes, there's no Halo Infinite, but it also can help to change the conversation. Like, oh man, this console is going to be cheap. Dude, Paris, when people go to the store during Black Friday, they're looking for deals. They don't care what's hot, what's new. They're looking for deals.
Yes.
If they see that a brand new console is $250 or $199, and you could play the newest hot games, and you could play also the old games, that you could also buy that on disc or digital for cheap. What makes you think parents are not going to do that and buy a console like that, man? Personally, I think it will be a great, huge move. Now, us, the hardcore parents, you and I, we're more of like, hey, we're getting the Series X. Us, because we're just hardcore. We'll buy the PS5 day one, like, that type of move. We always do that, right? But just the regular Joe, if they go to the store and they see that console for cheap, they're going to buy it. They're definitely going to buy it. I think that's going to help it. But it all depends on, you said, the messaging, the price, and hey, you know what? Add 3 months of Game Pass in there, man. That would be even a bigger move. Bigger move. You don't even need Halo Infinite for a while, man. You're good for 3 months. And then 2021, then you decide. All right, you want to stay part of the subscription, which the majority of people, Paris, and this is by research, the majority of people, every time they do a free trial of any subscription service, they stay with it. The majority stay with that service, man. Did you know that a lot of people did the free hours of AOL, and they stayed subscribed to AOL, and they didn't even bother to cancel it? And still to this day, supposedly AOL was still getting money from those accounts that they were signed up because of those free trials.
Oh, wow.
That is insane.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's crazy, man. But yeah, like I was saying, man, I think that would be really, really cool, man, if they add a 3-month Game Pass in there, man. That would be really, really cool. So anything else, Paris? Oh, my theory, Paris, November 6th is the launch of the new console.
Well, that's not a theory. You saw the leak. That's not a theory.
No. I first of all, I didn't see that leak. I saw that leak after, because I saw it this morning,
all right,
actually.
Okay. Then why? Explain me why you thought November 6th.
Because, the reason why I said November 6th is because I've been saying that this console was going to come out late September, sometime in sometime in October, maybe the end of October. So I said, you know what, the earliest, maybe the first week of November will be perfect for that. And that's it. I didn't see this coming out after that. So I said the first week. Usually companies, especially Nintendo and Xbox, has been releasing consoles on a Friday. So I'm like, oh, okay, the 6th sounds right. But then I had no idea about this leak. I had no idea about the sticker. I didn't know about that one I saw this morning because Tom posted it up. I had no idea about that. So that's the reason why I said November 6th. I honestly was going to say the last week of October. And we talked about this.
Oh, well, yeah, we talked about it. But you specifically said November 6th, and it was like the leak came out. So I'm like, wait, where are you coming with?
Yeah. I swear I didn't know about the leak until I saw it there. But yeah, it's good. Hey, so my theory was kind of correct then. So, but hey, you never know. What happened if Lockhart comes out first and not Series X, or maybe Series X comes out first and Lockhart later? That's possible too. I mean, who knows? Look, nowadays, Paris, there's no rules. Anything is possible.
It's true. It's true.
PS5 might even come out in October. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. So, anything else, Paris, about this? Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think that's it for this week. I mean, Night City Wire just happened, episode 2. I actually put a video up talking about that, but more information about the weapons and the life path stuff for Cyberpunk 2077. So that's good. Still on track for November. Not looking like it's going to get delayed, which they also took work in progress off the gameplay footage. That's a good sign.
Thank God.
That's a good sign, obviously. So
yeah.
We'll see. Mm-hmm. We will see. Hopefully no delays. It comes out in November and I just disappear from the face of the earth. I'm excited.
Okay. Well, if you don't hear from Paris on the show or on YouTube, and also on Twitter that you don't see him, now you know why.
Yep.
He just disappeared. All right, so head over to GamerTagRadio.com and listen to our past episodes. Subscribe to any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. We're there. And make sure to post a review if you get the chance to. Also, if you'd like to be part of Fan Mail, which we've been getting a lot of calls, a lot of emails, please continue sending those questions, man, or feedback. We'll play it here on the podcast, man. So here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, thank you for listening, and we're out. Until next time, take care. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.